Breaking news coming in. Protests being reported in the streets of the capital. Once again, BJP workers are staging a protest against the hike in VAT by the Delhi government. Delhi government under fire for increasing VAT. This means that several key items, including eating out, have become costlier. Satish Upadhyay, BJP Delhi chief, is addressing a press conference. Let's cross live.
दिल्ली की जनता को महंगाई का गिफ्ट देने के लिए लीवरेज लिया था.
BJP workers are staging a massive protest in the national capital against the hike in petrol and diesel prices that has been implemented by the Delhi government after it raised the value-added tax on these products. Let's get number from our deputy editor Atif Khan, who's with us on the phone line this afternoon. Atif, this is an issue that the BJP and the Congress have taken up in a big way, considering that the Aam Aadmi Party has said that it will be raising the price of crucial products after it passed that bill in the assembly.
Well, that's right. You see, both the opposition, BJP and Congress, are trying to pin down Delhi government on this issue, and they say that it is directly going to impact the people also, since the prices of all the commodities are likely to go up, especially fruits and vegetables, after the prices of fuel are hiked. Now, the justification of the government is that now, after this amendment, now the fuel prices will be at par with Haryana and Punjab. But this is clearly not going down well with the opposition, which is making a big, hangama out of it. And there is one protest at the Secretariat, which the Indian Youth Congress is carrying out, and at the same time, the BJP is protesting at near the Secretariat at ITO.
All right, so Congress and BJP workers both staging protests in the capital against the Delhi government's decision to hike prices of petrol and diesel. The announcement was made yesterday. The price of petrol was hiked by 2 rupees 78 paise, and the price of diesel was hiked by 1 rupee 83 paise. Other, of course, these protests likely to intensify, considering that the government, after passing the VAT amendment bill, will be allowed to increase VAT on other products, including tobacco and aerated drinks as well.
Well, that's right. You see, there is this growing concern among people, and that is why the opposition, both BJP and Congress, have got an opportunity to take on the government. And since already the fuel prices will be, have been hiked, this will have impact on the commodities, since the transport becomes more expensive. But that is not all. Since the amendment has been made and the VAT bill has been brought in, then there is a likelihood of increasing of prices of other commodities as well. So that will be greater concern and give more opportunity to opposition to take on the government.
We're getting pictures from two locations in the capital, pictures of the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party. Workers from both these parties staging protests against the Aam Aadmi Party government's decision to hike prices of petrol and diesel in the capital. This fuel price hike has been implemented. The price of petrol has been increased by 2 rupees 78 paise and diesel by 1 rupees 83 paise. Atir, of course, the Aam Aadmi Party government's justification is that this needs to be done to bring prices of essential commodities in the capital at par with Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh.
Well, that's right. You see, the revenue generation is very important. Though the Delhi government has an adequate budget of more than 40,000 crores, but then it has to, ensure that there is adequate, coffers within the Delhi government. There's sufficient funds. So now they have taken a practical approach. It's a shift from their, a common man's appeal of, bringing prices down and controlling inflation, but then now there's this realization that a practical approach needs to be taken. But clearly that is going to directly impact the common man, and that's why the opposition are, taking on the government on this.
Right, and Atir, after passing that bill on the 30th of June, this is the first hike in VAT that the Aam Aadmi Party government has implemented, and the BJP had anticipated this, which is why we saw a massive protest when this bill was passed in the assembly.
Yes, that's right. You see, both the BJP and the Congress have been, preparing to make it a big issue. And since now that it has been implemented, these protests are being carried out by Indian Youth Congress at the civil lines and BJP outside the secretariat. And they are going to make it a major issue in the days to come. And we are likely to hear more from the opposition leaders on this issue pertaining to a price rise.
Dramatic pictures there on your screens as Atir Khan is pointing out Congress workers staging a protest outside Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence. BJP workers staging a protest outside the Delhi Secretariat. This after the Delhi government increased the VAT on fuel products. The price of petrol and diesel have both been hiked. Of course, this hike coming after the Delhi government, the Delhi Assembly passed the VAT amendment bill on the 30th of June. This is the first hike in VAT that has been imposed by the Delhi government. And of course, Atir, an increase in fuel prices will lead to further inflation, considering that the cost of transport will now increase.
Yes, Chini, that's right. You see, the one relief which Delhi had was the prices of fuel. But now since they have been raised, it will directly impact the commuters, and at the same time it will eventually result in the price rise of essential commodities. We have seen whenever the prices of diesel have risen, it has an impact on the essential commodity prices.
All right, Atir, hold that thought. I'm going to come to you in just a bit. Our correspondent Amit Chaudhary is sending us a ground report. Let's cross live.
वैट की जो दरें बढ़ाई गई हैं दिल्ली के अंदर, उनको जल्द से जल्द वापस लिया जाए और जो वायदा केजरीवाल सरकार ने चुनाव से पहले किया था कि वैट कम किया जाएगा, लेकिन दिल्ली के अंदर वैट बढ़ाकर दिल्ली की जनता को जो उन्होंने गुमराह किया है, हमारी ये मांग है कि पुलिस ने लाठीचार्ज करा, पुलिस भी इनके साथ मिली हुई है। इन्होंने जो वैट बढ़ाया है वो एक आम जनता पे एक बोझ डाला है और ये इनकी फर्जी सरकार है। आज केजरीवाल जी ने कहा था दिल्ली में कि हम बिजली पानी सस्ता करेंगे, सस्ता तो नहीं करा, उल्टा वेट के हम पे बोझ देकर 20% से 25%। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर किस तरीके से ये लोग जमीन पर बैठ गए हैं। पुलिस लगातार इनको यहाँ से हटाने की कोशिश कर रही है, बैरिकेडिंग को तोड़ करके दूसरी तरफ आ गए हैं और इनकी लगातार ये कोशिश है कि ये मुख्यमंत्री निवास स्थान तक पहुंचकर अपना जो प्रोटेस्ट है वो दर्ज करें, लेकिन पुलिस के जवान यहाँ पर मौजूद है और इन्हें लगातार उठाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और इनको यहाँ से पीछे धकेलने की कोशिश पुलिस लगातार कर रही है, लेकिन ये कार्यकर्ता मानने को तैयार नहीं है। इनकी ये मांग है कि जो वैट में जो बढ़ोतरी हुई है उसको तुरंत वापस किया जाए। कैमरामैन धर्मेंद्र के
Like BJP workers and Congress workers demanding an immediate rollback of the price hike of diesel and petrol that was introduced yesterday. They're staging protests outside Chief Minister Kejriwal's residence in the capital, also outside the Delhi Assembly. Atir, there was a meeting of finance ministers of Delhi, Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh in May, where they decided to move towards uniformity in tax rates to develop a common market to boost trade in the region. Why does VAT in Delhi need to be increased to boost trade? Can you explain that to us?
Well, you see, what the government is thinking is that it needs adequate funds to run the business of the government, and that is why this move of making amendments in the and bringing in VAT bill. So this will clearly result in the increase in government's revenue generation, and there were certain concessions which the Delhiites enjoyed as far as fuel is concerned. But now with this move, it will all be revoked, and the Delhiites will be at par with Haryana and Punjab as far as the fuel prices are concerned.
Like pictures on your screens, security personnel also being forced to use water cannons on protesters after they refused to back down, staging a protest outside Chief Minister Kejriwal's residence and outside the Delhi Secretariat.
किया है दिल्ली वालों के साथ वैट की दरों में बढ़ोतरी करके, क्योंकि केजरीवाल का कहना था कि वो एक सस्ती दिल्ली उपलब्ध कराएंगे। और आप देख सकते हैं इसी के विरोध में जो पेट्रोल और डीजल के दाम बढ़ाए गए हैं, वैट की दरें बढ़ा करके उसके विरोध में कार्यकर्ता प्रदर्शन कर रहे थे आईटीओ पर। सचिवालय को घेराव करने की योजना थी, लेकिन आईटीओ पर ही पुलिस ने वाटर कैनन के जरिए पानी की बौछार छोड़ करके यहां पर तितर बितर करने की कोशिश बीजेपी कार्यकर्ताओं को की है और सचिवालय जाने से रोक दिया है। कैमरामैन
Dramatic pictures are coming to right from outside the Secretariat and outside the Chief Minister's office. Interesting to note that the Congress Party and the BJP have joined ranks as they take on the Aam Aadmi Party government over the hike in petrol prices. This hike was imposed by the Delhi government yesterday. The announcement coming last evening. The price of petrol was increased by ₹2.78 and the price of diesel by ₹1.83. This is the first hike in VAT that has been implemented by the Aam Aadmi Party government after it passed the VAT amendment bill in June last month. Pictures are on your screens. Top BJP MPs also from Delhi and BJP leaders from the state, they're present at the protest rally. Ramesh Biduri there on your screens along with Satish Upadhyay outside the Chief Minister's residence at the protest. Pictures of the Congress protest as well. Police personnel having a tough time controlling the crowds, being forced to use water cannons as well to disperse agitators who've gathered there outside the Secretariat and the Chief Minister's residence. The Congress and the BJP demanding an immediate rollback of the hike that was announced yesterday by the Delhi government. Delhi's petrol bomb, massive protests in the capital. We'll continue tracking developments. A short break here. We'll be back in just a bit.